I'm not happy at all with the situation of things, the way things are going on. Because the Olebiri, they have an hospital, so many things in Olebiri, in the name of this same shell. This thing you people are doing, you pay for it, because what you know is true. And you are just camouflaging, bagging those ones that are ignorant of it, saying the oil belongs to, where did you get oil? You're right, the goose that lays the golden egg, where is the egg that you lay?
When we talk about corporate social responsibility in the Niger Delta, it's clearly an oxymoron.
We gave you our property. If you are not using it again, hand it over to us. Let ATU or whichever other exploration company that want to use the oil field come to us.
These guys are in Abuja and far away, alienated from the community.
There is no other way I can say this is the positive impact the exploration of oil has given to us. All aspects of oil exploitation is negative.
They just don't care about the Nigerian environment because we have dumb regulators.
Welcome to the Niger Delta, a region rich in crude oil and gas, ravaged by decades of mindless extraction. This is a tale of blood and oil, exploitation and neglect, and a toxic legacy that threatens the survival of the people who call this place home. The pursuit of profits and black gold has left a legacy of devastation and an unimaginable destruction, from the polluted skies of the industrial cities to the contaminated waters of rural communities. Gross ecological abuse affects us all. The environment and human health impacts of oil spills and gas flares are well known. Abandoned wells poses deadly risk through groundwater pollution and elevated radiological pollution that could result in devastating illnesses including cancer. In 1956, Shell drilled the first commercially viable oil well in the Niger Delta in a small town called Otuabagi. It witnessed the beginning of Nigeria's oil industry. It was a moment of great promise, but also great danger. The oil companies promised jobs, wealth, and development, but what they delivered was an environmental destruction, displacement, and deprivation. As the years went by, pollution from oil spills, gas flares, and waste generated by crude oil extraction began to affect the environment and human health. The people were told that oil will bring prosperity. Instead, it brought poverty, pollution, and pain. Rivers are dead, swamps and forests gone, and the people are suffering. Health impacts ranges from cancer and respiratory diseases to birth defects, and neurological damages affects the people. Over the years, oil companies have shown a callous disregard for the environment and the people. This has happened arguably due to their incestuous relationship with the government. Working in joint ventures with governments, these companies enjoy an atmosphere of lax regulations. Conversely, the government depends on oil and gas receipts for up to 80% of its budgets.
They don't see us finish. And when they see you finish, this is the result. They don't care. The lives of the people of the Niger Delta are of little or no value. The lives of Nigerians are of little or no value to these IOCs because the NUPRC, the regulator, is a regulator that completely lacks capacity. In fact, it doesn't even know what regulator means. A regulator, yes, regulation means. So they are not regulating. They are only eating bribes given to them by the IOCs.
There is very little or no enforcement. Regulators have not been enforcing these laws. So you end up having hundreds and thousands of hazardous facilities abandoned, derelict facilities abandoned by operators all across oil-producing communities, and causing serious harm. Good example is Otuabagi, where you have oil well 2, Oloibiri well 2, and if you go there now, even though it's been abandoned for anything from 40 to 50 years, but oil is seeping out from the well into the land and just degrading the entire environment, streaming into nearby creeks, and then you have a buildup of the methane and other gases that are emitted from the well, from the abandoned well. So you can imagine 40, 50 years of methane emissions. What you have is a buildup of a methane cloud there. And nobody knows when it will get to a level of that atmospheric buildup when one match strike can cause a conflagration there.
Under this condition, Niger Delta will go nowhere because there's no freedom of thought. We don't have any good foresighted leadership. Niger Delta is the basket of the nation, and is down the valley. The whole thing flowed down to the south. All minerals are underground. And most of the people that produce the minerals that sustain the world never get the benefit. There is a class already that is well, conceived. They exploit. They don't do anything more than that.
The impact of oil extraction goes far beyond the environment. From the early 90s, the oil-field communities have become heavily militarized, leading to an acute human abuse. A litany of communities have experienced mass assaults, with the most violent records in Umuechem, Ogoniland, Odi, Odioma, and several others. Communities have been displaced, people have been killed, and many have suffered from oil-related illnesses. But despite the overwhelming odds, communities have remained resilient. From grassroots organizing to national campaigns, people demand justice and accountability for the toxic legacy in their land.
How can it be that a land that produced the wealth of our country will be so backward in this sense? Is it fair? Shell has come and said that they are no longer in Otuabagi. As it stands now, we don't even have anybody to hold accountable for this wrongdoing. They say divestment. What is divestment? You are leaving a land that you have destroyed without restoration. You have not repaired anything and you are leaving the land. We will keep shouting, we will keep saying it, that they should come and give us the justice that we require. They should come and restore our land. They should come and restore the means of our livelihood. We will not be quiet, we will keep saying it.
The time when my mama born me, we grew to a very big cassava, like this. But now, the crude oil don't kill our food. Even the sugarcane, they do like this, big one. Now, crude oil don't pour everywhere. They see better food again. No helper. We dey hungry. See, I don't own. Since when my mama born me now, so I dey work till today. If to say helper dey, now I for no go boost again. I dey sick self, I dey work. I dey die self, I dey work. Tell people don't kill us finish. And the story wey we get you.
It pains you a lot that you are blessed with natural resources like this kind, yet you see nothing. If I should voice out some certain things, it might trigger my anger, even coming to stand there and see things like this. It pains us a lot. When you go into our community, you find out that even you can't even see somewhere you can go to when it comes to seek health, to rescue yourself. When it comes to the health aspect of it, we don't have hospital, we don't have good health center. I want to talk of water, we don't even have water to drink. And I want to come to the youth aspect of it. You see youth involving themselves in several kinds of activities due to the fact that this oil is not helping us. As in, we have all these things and we are not getting anything out from it. And we believe this is the thing that is feeding this country.
The one that always annoys me most is the one that they say the wells are dry. Some of the wells are still dropping, and yet they say the wells are dry. And Otuabagi is not even in the list. of communities hosting this oil well. Otuabagi name is not there in any of their books because they claim that the well is dry. But the well, the oil, the crude is still there. People come, even students come for excursion. They pick up a bowl and they carry some oil well quantities back to their schools. Yet they tell us that the well is dry. That language is what I am not happy at all.
We have to readdress the issue and agree on what we think is best for Otuabagi community before ATO can have something to do with the oil field. Except that, perhaps, they will come with their JTF and military personnel to intimidate us. So we want both Bayelsa State government, the federal government of Nigeria, even the government of Ogbia local government, and then the oil companies to hear our voice.
The first oil well drilled in the 1950s were abandoned in the 1970s when they reached the end of their productive lifespan. Although abandoned, they were neither secured, dismantled, or decommissioned. One of such examples is Shell's Ibibio-1 well at Ikot Adaudo, which was drilled in 1959 and was left with its iconic Christmas tree intact. In 2006 and 2007, this seemingly dormant well began to leak. Significant volumes of crude oil spilled into the surrounding environment for weeks. They were only capped when it became a curious spectacle on national television stations and visited by the Senate. The resulting destruction led to the battles that reached The Hague. Today, this abandoned oil well sits as a time bomb and as a totem of environmental neglect and economic exploitation.
This is Oloibiri Well 6 in Otuogidi community in Ogbia local government area of Bayelsa State. As you can see, this is the well that has been abandoned by Shell over many years. It was first operated in the 1950s and abandoned in the 1970s. Communities still suffer from the impact of this abandonment, which is yet to be decommissioned by Shell.
Decades after their abandonment, Well 2, located in Otuabagi, produced about 5,000 barrels of oil daily. It still spills oil, contaminates the environment, and poses ecological and health risk. In 2015, the Nigerian government designated the Oloibiri Oil Well a national monument and museum. The Oloibiri oil fields, where an oil museum is proposed to be located, holds a significant historic value as the site of Nigeria's first commercial well.
We can't be happy. Say now say they want build research center. Museum research center, we can't be happy, we dey rejoice. They say then they come or say they want to do groundbreaking. Since 7 o'clock, we dey inside sun. They dance, they dance, they dance, they dance, they wait for governor, they dance, they dance. Sister, no be so, we call they dance. We dance, we dance. We sweat oh, we dance oh, we dance, we dance. We dey wait because we never see development before, we never see good thing before. As we come, they dance, they happy, they wait under the sun. Without food, we stay hungry from that 7:30 till midnight. Around 8 o'clock, now we take clothes, leave that place. Hoping that they won't do better thing. Now, for us to see now, nothing again.
The museum is expected to showcase the history of Nigeria's oil industry and the impacts of oil exploration on the local community. It was initiated to commemorate Nigeria's oil discovery and promote tourism and education in the region. However, the integrity of the Nigerian government, the Oloibiri Museum, and the Research Center in Bayelsa State, Nigeria is absent, as the project exists only on paper, with no information publicly available.
So the pollution in the Delta is so deep that even in terms of how deep into the soil, the UNEP report of 2011 showed that in some parts of Ogoniland, pollution had gone as deep as 5 meters. It shows us that almost all the water bodies, both surface and groundwater, has been contaminated. We've heard about situations in places in Eleme area, in the Ogale area, where the groundwater was contaminated with benzene 900 times above World Health Organization standards. In Bayelsa State, the recent report by the Bayelsa State Oil and Environment Commission has shown that there's a per capita contamination of 1.5 barrels of crude oil. It's simply unthinkable that a region can be so contaminated. There's no way you can capture it with words. I believe it's only by pictures that we can see. And there are many examples all around us.
The neglect of the environment. Look at, we travel a lot, but go to all the places we travel. The people who are having the oil have never enjoyed. Look at Brass and Nembe is having terminal in the whole of Bayelsa State. But go around the whole of our environment. You will live, it's laughable. So even we are not helping matters. We will collect this money, get this money, and we'll go to build other areas.
These facilities, each of them that is abandoned haphazardly, is a landmine in our communities. And that explains the Bukuma explosion a few weeks ago. I don't know if that fire has been put off. That explains Santa Barbara 2021. In fact, 2019 first, Santa Barbara well 1. 2019 first, and then 2021 went on for a much longer period of 38 days, because of poor decommissioning practices. So the law requires that operators properly decommission their facilities, and if they don't, then the regulators have to enforce. But regulators are not enforcing. So if the regulators are not enforcing, what resort do we have as communities and as affected people? Is to go to courts, right? But where are the courts?
In all of these, the people stand to suffer. And just as it is usual, the explanation will be sabotage. It is only in Nigeria that sabotages or oil busts or oil spillages are ascribed to sabotage or saboteurs when the saboteur is never found. And for some years now, almost every oil installation has the military there. So what is called a joint task force of military, police, DSS, fire brigade, everybody. And even if they sleep on top of those wells, when these wells erupt, the simple answer between NUPRC and NNPCL and so on and so forth is that the wells were sabotaged.
UNEP report said there is hydrocarbon in the air that we breathe, and that there is a cancer-causing carcinogen called benzene in the water that we drink. That the water we take in Ogoni is 1,000 times worse than level recommended by World Health Organization. These are the things a good government should think about, how to remedy these situations, how to declare a state of emergency in Ogoni so that Ogoni children can go to school, because their parents are unable to fish and farm anymore. The children cannot go to school. These are the things government should think about, how to rehabilitate the Ogoni, how to resettle the Ogoni, how to bring life back to Ogoni. This is what the government should talk about, and not to talk about oil. I consider this a very big insult and a dance on the graves of those that died in Ogoni.
Abandoned oil well dulls the Niger Delta environment, and is required to be decommissioned and dismantled, as they pose a serious risk and can blow out, especially as they are exposed to harsh weather conditions and to extraneous forces. Generally, it is estimated that there are over 29 million abandoned wells globally, making this an issue that should attract international regulations. The difficult implementation of the assessments of the United Nations Environmental Programme, UNEP, on Ogoniland underscores that the oil wells must promptly be dismantled at the end of their productive lives. Wells should equally be dismantled if, after being drilled, it is found that the crude to be extracted was far less than the estimates made during exploration. To otherwise is to bequeath an unacceptable, obnoxious, intergenerational toxic legacy. The toxic legacy of blood and oil reminds us of the devastating consequences of unchecked exploitation, neglect, and ecocide. The situation is there, but the people are resilient. Against all odds, they stand determined, and continue to fight for justice and a clean environment. They realize that cleaning up the Niger Delta will take more than a lifetime, yet they know the best time to commence the cleanup is now. Now is the time to decommission and dismantle the abandoned oil wells and remediate and restore the environment.
Make on our help us, federal government, state government, more on our help us. More on our hear our voice now. We dey suffer now the oil in our first, then discover for Otuabagi now. Where they call Olebri oil field. Why now they keep us like this now? The good thing we do for Nigeria, is it bad thing one go pay us? I can't help us abeg. We don't too suffer. Our mother, our grandmother don't suffer. Our mother self can't suffer. Now we self go can't suffer like this, and our children self go still can't suffer.
The abandoned oil wells are time bombs. No one should have time bomb abandoned in their backyards. We call for the cleaning up of the environment and respect of human rights.